Hey, it's Justin from CanadaWhips.ca, and in this video we're going to learn the reverse cattleman's crack. The reverse cattleman's crack is a basic technique where the whip is cracked aimed backwards. Basically, you can think of the reverse cattleman's crack as just the cattleman's crack, but in reverse. So if you don't know that trick yet, make sure you watch that video before you try this one. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the reverse cattleman's crack, fix some common problems that you might have, and then show you some fun variations. To start with the reverse cattleman's crack, we're going to lay the whip in front of us on the ground like this. With the whip in front of us, we're going to do step one, which is the upswing. We're going to do it just like we're doing our regular cattleman. So our armpit is coming up to 90 degrees, and then our elbow is bending at 90 degrees as well. Only this time, we're doing it behind us. At the end of the swing, you want your handle pointing up and a little bit forward, but not too much. Don't have it pointing all the way forward because then you're not going to get enough leverage to get the crack. When I teach this move, a lot of beginners don't have the shoulder flexibility yet in order to get their arm out and up behind them. So a lot of them will have to turn their body towards their arm, so like this, or they may even try and do it completely in front of them this way. Both ways are correct. Just make sure you're trying to get your arm out to 90 and your elbow up to 90 with the whip swinging behind you. Step two is waiting. So once we put our arm in this position with our armpit at 90 degrees and our elbow at 90 degrees and our handle pointing up and slightly forward, we're just going to wait. And we're going to wait until the thong is in front of us with the cracker almost hitting the ground. In a way, step two is a little bit easier in the reverse cattleman's crack than in the regular cattleman's crack because we actually get to see what the whip is doing. So we have a visual reference for when we should do the crack. You want to make sure when you're doing the swing that the whip is following a straight line. If you imagine that you're in between two train tracks, the whip should stay along one train track and always be passing by you. If you swing the whip up during your wait and you find it hits you in the head, or maybe it's coming and it looks like it's going to hit you in the elbow, be mindful of your wrist angle and try and keep that handle so that the tip of the handle is pointing along the train track that you're standing beside. Step three is the cracking motion. So now we've taken our arm out, swung up, and waited. We're kind of in this position, almost like we're flexing our bicep at the gym. Now we're going to reverse what we did in step one in order to get the crack. So our wrist is going to go from pointing forward and up to backward. Our arm's going to straighten out and then swing down like this. So we're here, and again, back, straighten, down. With this motion, make sure that you follow through. So don't just go out and down. You want to go out, down, and swing up this way. The end little bit here almost feels like you're bowling. The first bit kind of feels like a really sassy snap. Once you're ready, try and put all of those moves together. Start with the whip in front of you, swing it up nice and strong. You want to make sure that the thong of the whip stays nice and straight in the air. You're going to wait until it's in front of you, and once it's in front of you, point out, swing your arm down, and sweep through. Let's fix some common problems. The first one is that because this move is super foreign, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, and you might not be able to get the force that you need to get your whip to fly over in a nice straight line. If your whip looks like this, where it's kind of jumping over, try and get a nice strong swing by starting with the whip out in front of you and really swinging up strong before you do the wait and the crack. The second thing is with the reverse cattleman's crack, a lot of people, they don't wait long enough. They just kind of swing up and they get scared and they swing down. Really, you need to be able to see the whip in front of you before you crack it. So I'll wait, and as soon as I see the thong come down and it kind of passes below my eye level, that's when I know it's time to do the crack. And the last thing, which is the most common, is people hitting themselves or getting tangled. And that all really comes from wrist angle. So like I said before, we're paying attention to the very tip of the handle. We want to make sure that it's staying just slightly out so that when we do the crack, it's going to pass us. And that's what I meant by the train track. If we're standing between two train tracks, the tip of the handle is pointing towards one of those train tracks the whole time, and the whip should be following that train track the whole time. And as long as it does that, it shouldn't hit you. Now that we've learned the reverse cattleman's crack, let's talk about some fun variations. For starters, you can do the reverse cattleman's crack in any spot really. You can do it beside you, in front of you, to the other side, and so on. You can also combine the reverse cattleman's crack with the cattleman's crack in order to do what's called a slow figure 8. So to do this, you'll do a cattleman's crack, follow through, and that follow through becomes the upswing for the reverse cattleman's crack. Once you've done the reverse, follow through again, and then you can do your cattleman's crack again. One last fun thing that you can do is change hands in front of you with the reverse cattleman's crack. So start with the whip in front of you. We're going to be operating in this frontal plane, and right at the bottom, we're just going to be switching hands. As well, you can switch hands this way at the top, as long as you let go of the whip and give yourself a little bit of time. That's how to do the reverse cattleman's crack. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to learn more about whips and whip cracking, check out the website, CanadaWhips.ca, and feel free to check out more of the videos on this YouTube channel.